Well, my name is Nigel Davies, and I'm the founder of Rishabh Software, which is it's a manufacturing MIS that I started many years ago. In my role, I have a public role in the industry, and I'm well known. So I often, probably many times a day, I get inquiries from companies offshore that want to help me with, with staffing needs. And the one thing that really struck me about Rishabh Software was we looked on the website, and it was very clear that there's a very deep technical expertise in the organisation that they work with. And I referred that to my colleague Cameron, and we spent a lot of time on the website. And probably the next thing that happened is that the team from Rishabh were actually coming to Melbourne, and being in Melbourne at the time, meeting people face to face was a great experience, because we learned a lot about, just even in talking to the team, we learned a lot about the culture of the company, where they'd come about, how they've grown themselves, and the values that were very important to them. So I started with a great deal of confidence that perhaps, this was the right pathway for us. A company like ours, we're starting very small. At the time that we started, we only had 3 people, but we're growing very quickly. And when you're a startup like that, it's very difficult to have a lot of expertise within your team. And we're very multi-skilled, but we knew that the future was going to bring us a lot of complexity. So we knew we needed a solution. And it just made absolute sense to work with a larger team that had the ability to support us as we grew. We knew that we could employ people in Australia, and that, is an easy thing to do. There's plenty of students that will help you. There's plenty of developers, but the reality is that when you're growing fast, you need support in lots of areas, and you can't necessarily employ a full-time person in all of those roles. And for us, the one attractive thing is that even though we might be working very closely with a team that we call our own, behind the scenes there were experts in security and database work that could support us as we move forward. I think it's been a very professional experience so far. For us, it started with a series of interviews to find the candidates that we were going to work with, and so that was an excellent process, very thorough, and pretty much no different than what I would do in Australia. Now, I have a number of companies. The software is only one company, and the one thing I've learnt over the years is that if I'm employing for a role, and I'd often expect that, maybe it's the third person that I employ that's going to be, the stable person that is going to stay with the business. And so, sometimes you don't have high expectations. And I was prepared to go for a long time with Rishabh because, I didn't think it would work out perfectly first time. That was my expectation. But the outstanding feature for us is that, well over almost, 14 or 15 months into it, we're still working with the same people that we started with, the people that we employed. And that says a lot for the background and the culture of the company. Because for people to stay in a very fast-moving industry in one place, for 14 months, whether it be in Australia or in India or anywhere in the world, says a lot for the security that they feel and what they're learning. Now, young people these days need to learn. They only feel that they are going places when they're learning. And so, whereas we might be a good company to work with, I hope we are, there's no question that the fact that they feel secure in their own environment is part of the success of our relationship here. So we meet all the time. We meet once a day as a team, the whole team, and we talk about what we've achieved and what we're going to achieve. And then me in particular, who do a lot of database development work, I'm working very closely with one of the team members, and that we'll be on Teams for half the night, for my night. So for me, there's no difference in working with a team offshore than it is here. In fact, it's more convenient because the time zones are different, and that means that we can get things done overnight that we can't do during the day in Australia. So in that way, we're far more responsive to our clients than necessarily we could be if we were just purely an Australian team. We're growing at a ridiculously fast pace, and I was looking at numbers today, and it's crazy. So for us, I can't see a time when we won't be working with Rishabh. I mean, we have to both grow in a balanced way. So we've put on sales team members here in Australia, and we have put a developer here in Australia. But for me, it's just the opportunity that arises. So I'm always thinking of how we'll be growing with Rishabh Software, because I know that the experience has been so good so far. I can only expect that as we grow further, we'll be using, we'll be bringing in more people from Rishabh. Now, the other thing too is, I should add, is that you make it easy, because the billing is in Australian dollars. It's a very painless experience to be working in this manner, and even more so than perhaps necessarily employing people here. But I have no bias at the moment. Well, 100%. There's no question that I think the work is outstanding. It's been a fantastic experience, and I have no question recommending Rishabh Software for a company like us, a fast-growing, startup. Well, I won't say we're a startup. We've been around a long time, but as we're entering a new phase in our growth, it's the perfect match for us.